Ja, wat je kunt doen, als je live drukt, gewoon even kijken of het qua licht, maar volgens mij komt dat goed. Hey. Ja, oké. Wat even. Ja, wat zeg je?
Robert is niet bij?
Je was nu live.
Jawel. Oh, ik was nu live. En nu?
Afgesloten. Doe het opnieuw.
Goed. Gaan we. Goed man.
Ja.
Het draait, hè, volgens mij. Crypto Insight. Engels, jongens.
Ja, perfect.
Maak je wat foto's, Hans?
Ja.
Een second chamber.
Zo is het goed, hè?
Ja, hij zit als gegoten, joh.
Nou, we doen het vaak hier. We hebben van die
Ja?
Q&A's met deelnemers.
Oké. Je zit in een gezamenlijke ruimte?
Het is een school.
School?
Dit gedeelte. Het is een HBO-opleiding waarbij studenten, voordat ze hier komen, hebben ze of een andere opleiding gedaan, gereisd of een eigen bedrijf opgezet. Je moet hier door selectie met je eigen bedrijf. Eigenlijk is het een soort accelerator waar je HBO haalt.
Oh ja.
Je moet je eigen bedrijf lezen en je kan terug halen.
Dus je werkt gewoon door als het ware?
Ja, ze hebben het heel slim gemaakt. Dus bijvoorbeeld het onderdeel EC-punten. Dat zijn studiepunten die je op een andere school waar je toets moet maken, moet je je geld verdienen. Dus wij moeten dit jaar nu bij ons team 90.000 euro netto verdienen.
Oh ja?
Ja, dus dat is best wel serieus. Als je allemaal begin 20 bent om netto op papier dat te maken, mogen we wel gewoon zelf houden. Want wij laten zien dat we dat doen met een mannetje 10. Is dat?
Wel innovatief.
Ja.
Veel crypto kopen? Of?
Ja, nou, er zijn sommigen die dat al gedaan hadden, maar ja, dat is niet helemaal meegekant. Maar er zit wel hele serieuze start-ups tussen. Dus dat is deze plek. Voor de rest is het even gebouwd met andere bedrijven.
Ja.
Tim, kun jij zo live drukken? Want volgens mij.
Zeker weten. Graag.
En steek je heel even je duim op als het oké is. Beeld. Dan weten we dat.
Ja.
Ik zal er nog even 1 seconde tussen zitten en dan doe ik de afkondiging. Ja, dat maakt niet uit, maar druk me gewoon op live.
Nu?
Ja, druk maar. Hey, we're here in Amsterdam, the B building, and we're here with Jan Robert Schutter from Crypto Academy. Jan Robert, how are you doing?
Hey, good evening, Wessel. Thanks for your invitation, and yeah, I'm very fine. The sun is shining. We're with a nice group here, and let's make fun.
And we have a special guest, Peter van Grinsven from nTitle. How are you doing, Peter?
Yeah, good. We're doing well. Thank you, Wessel.
I'm Wessel Simmons from Bitcoin Magazine NL, and the first topic we're gonna discuss is ICOs. ICOs, initial coin offerings. Jan Robert, you are actually a specialist on this topic. What are the trends you see in the ICO market 2018?
Yeah, first, before I answer this question, I'm a co-founder of Crypto Academy, and we are the bridge between the private investors and the crypto environment, whether it be ICOs or crypto exchanges, how to make money actually with crypto trading, and for investors how to make money with ICOs.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we go to Peter, maybe a short introduction of the nTitle ICO, because you're issuing an ICO.
Yeah, we're working on an ICO that will go in 4 or 5 months. We're defining the date at the moment. nTitle is blockchain commerce for gaming. So you can see Amazon as e-commerce. We are blockchain commerce. So we're using blockchain technology to make the gaming market fairer for everybody.
All right. Back to the trends.
Yes.
What kind of trends do you see?
Well, the trend what I see is that the demand for ICOs is increasing. Maybe the ICO market in 2016 was roughly 96 million raised. Last year, 2017, was more than 6 billion already in 12 months, and also Q1 already surpassed this threshold already. This number, 6 billion. Even more, of course, you see big ICOs like Telegram.
Yeah.
And despite the downturn in the market, what I see as a trend is that also private investors are a little bit shy of making investments, not only because of the market environment that the prices were dropping dramatically since the beginning of this year. But also authorities are warning, also governments are warning, and many institutions and settled parties are warning. And that is, I think, you have to be a little bit more subtle. To
Stimulating.
Stimulating, but also, I mean, these parties who are warning is mainly not to protect the investors, but mainly to protect themselves, and that has to turn. But what I see, so the investors are willing to take risk, and authorities are pulling the brakes all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your experiences with authorities, the Dutch authority, for instance, Peter?
Well, not so much. I think they're still in the process of defining where they stand on this. So, if you look at our ICO, we actually have to go to other countries, Liechtenstein or Gibraltar, Malta, countries that have already defined this legislation a bit better.
And I mean, you're based in Amsterdam and Netherlands. I mean, for you, it's more positive to do your ICO here, isn't it?
Well, it would be easier, yeah. There's a good financial system, and that would be easier. But and now it also makes it very costly. The parties that we're looking at charge a lot of money to do it because there are so few of them. So that is a negative for us. But okay, it's always difficult to make a start.
Okay, so the authorities are a bit shy or a bit pressing these initial coin offerings. What is actually the second trend you see in the market?
Yeah, the second trend I see in the ICO market is that the crowd sale, the ICO crowd sale was last year very huge, but now the pre-sale already is picking up. So maybe roughly 75% of the revenues or the ICOs are taking out the market in the pre-ICO, and the crowd sale is a little bit smaller.
Yeah, so actually the small private investors get little chance to invest in ICO, or?
Yeah, comparison with last year, yeah, I think so. And otherwise, you have to pool, and it's also you can pool with others, but there is also a challenge about KYC procedures. And
All right. What are your experience? I mean, maybe Peter, you can. Do you have a token sale running at the moment?
Well, at the moment, we have finished our angel round, which was about $600,000. We're now in the private pre-sale, so we're discussing with bigger investors. And then in a few months, we go to the public pre-sale and then the public sale. But I concur with Robert that there's a bit of a scare in the market. That's why parties are looking for bigger investors, venture capital investors. And it's a pity, really, because if I've been part of the internet house. I've been in the business for 20 years, and it was the same situation. There was too high, elevated expectations. Then it went down to the ground. But just that moment where it's down in the ground, if you would have stepped in at that time 20 years ago, you would have done very well. And I think that moment is there. The blockchain is a very important technology that will change the world as internet changes, and even 10 times as big. So it's important for small investors to keep an eye on this space and not discard it as they maybe did with the internet technologies 20 years ago.
You were a very experienced entrepreneur. You had a couple of enterprises in the e-commerce, now in the b-commerce, the blockchain commerce. Maybe how do you make use of the blockchain nTitle? What is the purpose?
Yeah, maybe it's because that our company, I'm the managing director of a digital agency with 60 people in 5 countries, and we do e-commerce applications. Been in the business for 20 years, so I know the skepticism that was there at e-commerce by physical retail stores, and I don't hear that anymore. At the moment, e-commerce became very important, but e-commerce has also some drawbacks. And
what is the drawback of e-commerce?
Now, it's for example, in our business, there's a centralized party that makes the cost of gaming, because we do it for gaming, 30% higher. But actually, that they don't deliver value for that 30%, and they're in the middle. So the communication between the provider and the client is broken because they are in the middle, and they make the process more expensive. And this decentralized party can be in the middle because they have certain centralized software solutions that the providers don't have. But their software solutions are built on internet technologies, so e-commerce technologies. And we propose to make those, to build decentralized software technologies. So you basically take the power away from this middleman and you give it back to the game developer and the gamer. You go direct. This way the game developer can make more money and actually the gamer has a lower cost of ownership. So the technology facilitates this direct relationship and better market mechanics. It solves a value proposition.
And how can I'm a gamer, for instance, and how can I buy a game via decentralized app? Or
Yeah, the interesting thing is that in this situation where there's this middleman, they turn every gamer into somebody that is not active. They only games and buy games. So in a decentralized world, this gamer can actually buy a game on our platform, which is still internet technologies connected to blockchain technologies, and then he is an active player, so he can then be incentivized by the game developer to have somebody he knows, try the game, or if he's done with the game, he can actually sell the game on via mobile app or via QR codes, and there will be some money going back to the game developer. So now the game developer actually is partnering with the gamer to make sure that his game is discovered and to make new customers, because everybody knows that word of mouth is the most important sales tool, and it's now not used. And what you actually have to do is to go to a marketplace that makes it 30% more expensive. And it's not used for discoverability of games. The discoverability happens on social media. So you're paying 30% for nothing, basically.
Jan Robert, you know the case of nTitle. What are actually the opportunities of this solution?
Well, the opportunities are the revenues are in this market. If I'm right, I read an article that the turnover yearly is about approximately $170 billion this year. And as Peter says, it's 30% margin. There's a lot of money to be taken out. But of course, you have to have a very good solution for that. And everybody don't like the central parties. Okay, of course, the central parties can make money. They are allowed, but
too powerful.
Too powerful, and they can take the power to their hand if they want. If they say, okay, we charge 35%, the game developer, for instance, has to pay that because there's no alternative. And with nTitle solution, they can break this pot stilling.
And the challenges, I mean, there must be also some challenge for nTitle. I mean, Steam is a powerful party.
Yeah, I don't think that Steam itself is challenging. It's more how to set up a structure, an ICO. Because it's not easy to set an ICO, and you have to reach investors, but also you have to regulatory ways. Yeah, of course, you want to do an ICO in a proper way, but then you need a bank account, and if it's difficult to open an account, that is a challenge. So, and I believe in the system of nTitle, the blockchain technology, and that they also are empowering the gamers. That now the gamers are buying, they are buying a game and they lose money because they cannot monetize.
Yeah.
Also, for the game developer, the gamers will become a monetizable gamer ambassador because now they can also kick back, of course, the game developers. But also, if a gamer is earning money, then you can put referrals in it. So I think the opportunities with the solution are very high.
Okay. Peter, what do you experience as your most, your challenge? What is the biggest challenge actually for you issuing ICO? It's different than maybe an e-commerce project.
Well, the challenge, there's many challenges, of course, but I think one challenge is explaining our value proposition clearly, that how this leads to a better working market, how it leads to more fairness, how it leads to more liberty, where we actively empower people so that their economic players, active economic players. Yeah, but everything is difficult. But we've done it before. You know, I'm managing a company. We've got 60 people, so now we have to build a new team. You know, make them excel at what they do. We are actually ahead with our technology. We need to stay ahead with the technology. We need to find investors early on that participate. Luckily, we did so. Now we have to go to the market for even more money and to make sure that we can extend on that advantage that we have. And we have to explain the story very well to the world. So yeah, a lot of challenges.
What's actually your personal motivation? I mean, what's actually the why of Peter van Vrinsel? Why is this blockchain technology important?
Well, I don't know about you, Wessel, but I'm the son of a hairdresser, and you know, a middle-class family maybe, but it's you know, freedom of economic freedom and freedom in general is just very important to me. And I've always tried in my career to have challenges, make money, but also to have a goal, to do something that actually helps people. And internet technologies have helped people. It lowered the cost of ownership, it lowered the cost of access to information, it lowered the cost of access to education, it brought new business models like e-commerce, and blockchain is now really the next thing that's going to help people become independent, have freedom, have ownership of digital goods where they basically now don't own anything. It says, I'm selling this to you, and then you don't really own it. So, and there's logic that is not owned because the game developer or the IP holder doesn't make any money. So, but via blockchain technology, we can make this market fair and make everybody an active economic player. And I think that's a better world where people are self-dependent, free thinkers, and that makes for a better world. And if these things are all coming together, I think, yeah, it motivates me.
So it's not only about making money. I mean, you need like $20 million for your ICO.
Yeah.
So people may ask, where is this 20 million necessary for?
Well, you have to, you know, if people want to invest, they also have to, they want to invest because they're looking, actually you may not use the word invest, but contribute. But they're looking for a certain return on their contribution. And to make sure that we can have that return on the contribution, we have to build something that's important. And to build something that's important, we will need a team of 50 to 100 people. We need people that will cost us $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And then we'll do an investment of initial investment in the software of 1 to 5 million. And that software can then be used by thousands and thousands of other game development companies to go direct, to improve the market mechanics. So you need a lot of money to make something valuable.
And you've made successful platforms. I mean, maybe you have a few examples of platforms that are still used by people.
Yeah, and of course, in 2000 we built a platform for expatriates called expatica.com. I founded that together with a Canadian, Lebo, and that's the #1 expatriate platform in the world at the moment. And after that, in 2009, I built a creative crowdsourcing marketplace for the Spanish market. Competitions. So we with a company have experience building these platforms. And yeah, this is just even a bigger challenge than before.
And also, I mean, if you look at your life, I mean, you had a few years, actually quite a while, you were living in Latin America. Maybe you can explain how important this blockchain technology can be for people living in Argentina, Peru.
Yeah, I can explain it in two different examples. First of all, internet allowed these people to basically work for Western companies. That increased their income substantially. You know, billions of people were pulled out of poverty because of internet technologies. And the whole supply chain technologies that also use internet technology helps China produce the goods for Western Europe and for the United States. You see that from the numbers, the G7 from 18 to 1995 grew the part of the world income they had to 65%. After 95, it went down with 1% the next 20 years. Not because they made less money, it's because other countries had an opportunity to participate. But the second example is that you still see there's a lot of corruption in these countries. And basically the poverty comes from corruption. So if these people, instead of having to invest or don't have a bank account, even have a bank account, or cannot invest where they are, can invest in a country like the Netherlands where the law is still strong, or in the United States, or in Western companies, then they can circumvent the trap they're in. And so I think blockchain technologies make everything more fluid, make everything a lot cheaper, make it easy for people to have a bank account without a bank, unbanking the bank, so you could almost say.
Okay, sounds very good. Thank you very much for your time, Peter. Jan Robert,
Yes.
maybe your last words to the audience about investing in ICOs. Maybe you have a tip.
Well, tips are for waiters, I have to say, but we have an ICO evaluation model in joint venture with a guy from Utrecht, from an investigator or
Analyst.
Yeah, and he sold some companies, but he was also in the ICO market, and we did a kind of rating system. There are a couple of things you have to be aware of as an investor. Like always, like every investment, in case of ICOs, the token, how does the token generate money? Yeah, is it a purpose? And is the problem very big? So that the solution is very good for this problem. So where does the money come from in the long term? That is very important. The second thing is very important also is the team has to be a marketing department, also sales. And second thing is, I think the third about the team. In the team, there's the team, but also the advisors. Take a good look at the advisors. And check always the advisors. Is it just an advisor on paper, just for to be on paper? Is it a passive ICO advisor, or is it an active advisor?
Yeah.
So Google always the names, and also when there's a very big influencer in the advisory board, is very strong, because this is the door opener. And nTitle is a very good advisor as well, with a good gateway into the gaming market. It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jan Robert.
Okay.
Also, let's go to nTitle.network. You see the whole team and the board of advisors, and you can dive. They have a very nice introduction movie about their business, actually, their business model. So thank you very much. And this was the pilot of Crypto Insight. And thank you very much from Amsterdam, B Building. Thanks to team.
Fantastisch!